Hey guys, Jody Blackwater here with Outdoor Crusade, and on today's podcast, we have a very special couple that travel the country, living the RV life, like the rest of us working folk want to do but can't. So today we got Kara and Ryan. I appreciate you joining with us today. Their page is the, what is it, Wandering RV Babe, is that right?
That's right. I'm Kara, the Wandering RV Babe, and this is my driver, Ryan.
That's awesome. I mean, okay, this is just going to jump right in and say for people who don't know, apparently in most of her videos, she refers to the fact that she doesn't drive. Is that like really true? I mean, do you not drive and he has to drive all the time?
Well, okay, so I will drive if I have to. I don't like driving. I never really have. Like I was the kid who super excited to get my driver's license at 16 years old, just like all of my friends. Go to the DMV, get my license. We're walking out of the DMV, and my mom's like, "You want to drive home?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm good." So that's always been me. Whereas Ryan loves to drive.
I've been driving since I was like 13 or 14. And even when she got her driver's license, I was still 15. So I'm actually 10 months younger than she is. She's my cougar.
Oh,
Yes.
And
I'm young. Not really.
and even though I was 15 and she was 16, if we went somewhere, I would still end up typically driving anyways because it was just more natural for me.
Yeah. So I will drive if I have to. I prefer not to drive. He loves it. It calms him. He enjoys it. And so we kind of just came up. I think somebody else came up with that moniker for him, to be honest. It was like the driver Ryan, and he's always driving. It's the driver Ryan. And it just kind of stuck. And so now I refer to him that way in all of our videos, which is hilarious because I'll get people in the comments who are like, is he anything else but your driver? You just have your own driver, your own chauffeur? And I'm like, no, he's also my husband.
Well, what's funny is actually a few months ago, there actually was somebody in one of the campgrounds we were in, and it was a guy and a girl, and they had a big old Class A, and they actually did like DJ work, but he had the DJ equipment, she owned the RV, and they just traveled together, but they weren't like a couple.
They weren't together.
Yeah, they were. He was just driving and taking and bringing the DJ equipment, and she had the RV, and so they were just traveling together. So it's not actually that unheard of.
Plausible.
Yeah. I mean, that they just was business partners and making the money. That's what they were doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So, all right. I mean, both of you look like you're like 25, but like, so how long have y'all like been together and how did y'all meet?
We
met in school.
Middle school.
Yeah, we met in middle school. And we've been together since we were in school. We had a few, like off and on relationship for a little bit, and then we kind of like, we're just kind of like, hey, you're kind of cool. You should just be my person.
You're my person. Yeah.
And so we've been together since then. But we've been married for 19 years. So, if we were 25, which I'm not saying we're not 25, but if we were 25, we would have gotten married when we were like 2.
Yeah,
so.
I got you.
And I'll put the delimiter on there. I was 12 years old when I asked her out, so just put that into your mind.
Yeah, it was the whole concept of like George Strait, check yes or no, 100% to the T. What that was.
That's awesome. All right, so I mean, say now you're a young couple. And then you just come up and say, we're going to live in a van by the river, and this is going to be our life. I mean, did y'all go to college? I mean, like,
yeah, we did the whole like what you're supposed to do thing.
I didn't.
Well, kind of like went to college.
I didn't.
Some of us graduated, some of us didn't.
There we go. I'm a college dropout. I got successful while I was in college doing other things, and I decided that the finishing up college was more work than I was willing to put into it.
Yeah. So, but I mean, we got the 9-to-5 jobs, bought the house, like kind of just went down that road, and we always really wanted to RV as like a retirement goal. So we had always talked about, hey, when we get ready to retire, we're going to sell everything, we're going to buy an RV, we're going to hit the road. And we had been camping not just RV camping, but like tent camping. I mean, I did like the back end of a truck bed camping, hammock camping, like stuff like that too, our whole lives, like both separately and together. So we were familiar with it. And then COVID hit, and we had an opportunity to work remotely, and we thought, man, like we're living in this house, this huge house that we don't really need that much space. We don't use that much space. And so we're like, dude, we could do this now. So we literally sold almost everything. We had like an estate sale, which was really funny having an estate sale when you're young and like a young couple. Cause I'm like,
I can
we're
see
live
that,
doing this right now. So that was kind of interesting, but yeah, we sold everything, bought the RV, set up, an office set up in the RV. Like, so what's right behind us is our, slide that used to have a couch in it. We ripped the couch out of it. We put, a desk and like dresser drawer storage back there. So we have like a whole office set up now. And we hit the road. And
Well, funny story. Before we hit the road, we actually bought the RV in September.
oh yeah,
And I don't know who all remembers this from the COVID times, but getting your hands on a truck was actually really hard.
Oh,
Yeah.
impossible. They had no chips. They were just sitting,
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
production lot and would not run. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so we actually moved into the RV in September, and we weren't able to get the truck until November, and so we actually didn't hit the road until mid-November. So we actually were still working kind of. I was still working on a job that I was going into the office for, but I had like stuff lined up to be remote, and so I was going in and out of work. She was already working from the RV full time, and so we did that for a few more months, and then I told him, I was like, hey, I'm leaving as soon as I have a truck, I'm leaving. So here's your X number of weeks notice. And so, I got to help kind of train up my replacement, which that does help. So that's a nice thing you can do for your job. But
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
but yeah, so that was actually the funniest part was we're literally just like, we're in the RV and we're like, the campground we were at, they actually needed us to move sites. And we were like, well, we don't have a truck. So we actually had to hire somebody, which they're called.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. They're called transporters. And we hired a transporter to move us from one site to another in the same RV park.
Yeah.
So, all right. So now you're out here, you're doing this RV life. Like, what is it that, I mean, you didn't have an RV before, right? I mean, you didn't have a camper before, right?
We didn't have this size of a camper.
We didn't have this size of a camper.
We had like
a weekend warrior kind of.
It was
smaller.
It was like a little toy hauler that had like a little kitchen, bathroom, and then just some open space.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
So whenever you first got like a camper and you started camping, like for someone who is thinking about, I'm going to do this, even if it's for the weekend or whatever, like what's the first things that they need to learn about getting a camper and rolling into a campground? Like what is like the top 5? Hey, look, you shouldn't even pull one into a campground unless you know this.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say the number one, and then I'll let her continue on. Number one is do not trust whoever you're buying the camper from that your truck's going to be able to pull it. Do the research yourself, because that is the most common issue I see is people thinking that they can tow a trailer that they really shouldn't be towing with the truck that they have. So do the research.
I have seen that going down the interstate, and you're like, if that person has a stop, it's not going to happen for them. Yes, I've seen that.
Right. Yeah, and unfortunately, the sales guys at the dealerships, almost every time without fail, they will ask you, well, what truck do you have? Oh, I have XYZ. They're like, oh yeah, I can tow this. Like, no, it probably can't. Or if it can, you're going to be at like your max tow capacity, and you really need to have a 20% buffer. Because if you're going over a big overpass, if you're going through the mountains, which we have gone across every single U.S. mountain formation at this point with ours, and we have a 40-foot fifth wheel, so it's a big fifth wheel. That would have really struggled had we not had that like 20% tow buffer. So
did y'all do like a dually or something, or what?
No, actually,
we didn't actually.
So one of the things we didn't want to have a dually, and so we targeted trailers that we would not need a dually for. So we, like I just said a second ago, we got the trailer before we had the truck, so I was able to spec out the truck based off of what the trailer was. But one of the key things was staying under that 2200, 2300 pin weight, so that way you can do it without having to have a dually.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, what I will say is, a dually is 100% going to give you much more stability on the road. The only reason why we didn't go with the dually is because we had just one vehicle. And so when we get to a campsite, we unhitch and we disconnect. It is much easier to get the truck, even though it's a 3500 still, it's much easier to get that in, city streets than it would be with a dually. And so we've driven all across the country. By we, I mean he has driven all across the country with our truck. And like we said, we've gone through every mountain formation. We've taken the big Eisenhower tunnel through the Rockies as well. And then, we've gone through those little tiny streets in the Northeast. So he's driven through Manhattan before. That was a weird accident.
Not with the trailer.
Not with
just the truck by
just the truck by itself.
I got you.
Driven through like Philly streets, Boston streets. Like those are tiny. They're narrow.
Oh, yeah.
Having a dually just would have complicated that. So that was why we opted for the single rear wheel.
It's always
to say
SRW.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. So then what would be the second thing? What would
I guess
be...
we're still on number one, is make sure that your truck is big enough, but we like to get as small as we could. But what's number two?
I would say number two is you need it if you're going to use the kitchen or bathroom in your RV. And what I would say is you spent thousands of dollars on this thing. You should be able to use it. Then you need to have a good sewer setup. So you need to have, the sewer hoses, the water hoses, filters. You need to have a surge protector for your electrical hookups, all of that. But also you need to have extras of those.
Yes.
Because we've had a couple of instances where we were camping somewhere and the dump station that we needed to hook up to was like clear across the campsite. And so we had to have an extra long sewer hose to connect to it. And, if you don't have extra supplies, then you might or might not be able to get fully connected. And that might be okay for that night. But some of those places that we go camping, like, they don't get Amazon deliveries. Camping World's not nearby. Sometimes Walmart isn't even nearby. And so you want to go ahead and be prepared and have all of that stuff with you.
Yeah, a great example of that is last year we were in Pennsylvania, and we were there for, I want to say like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. And apparently, I guess the way that they had it set up is like certain, every couple of camper sites was on a septic tank. And then there was access to be able to clear out the septic tank. Well, come to find out, the access port for the septic tank that we were on was actually underneath our RV, and the septic tank was full like the night before we were going to leave. And and so we couldn't dump. And we that's a really good point. A really good thing to do is to make sure you're as empty as you want to be before you hit the road, because you don't want those fluids sloshing around. So we couldn't dump. But come to find out, the site right next door to us was on the next set of septic tanks. And so we ended up running our sewer hoses over, and then our neighbor helped us out, and he used his sewer hose, and we connected up so I could dump into his dump station.
4 of them connected all together.
Stretching all the way from one side of our RV all the way over to his, and it was like, we made it work, and luckily he was a nice, friendly person, but like having extra hoses is really important.
Well, or like the time when we were camping and we got like a crazy freeze overnight.
Oh, yeah.
And all of our sewer hoses froze and then cracked.
Yep.
And so, of course, they're not any good anymore. And I mean, every single one of them that we had out. And we were leaving that day. And so we had a short travel day that day. And I think we passed by a Walmart. So we stopped, grabbed some more sewer hoses, went on our way, and we had brand new sewer hoses for our next campsite. But that doesn't always happen. So.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I could say you could be out remotely, and then that's the end of that. Yeah.
Right. You're just stuck at that point. Hopefully your tanks are empty.
Number 3.
Yeah.
We're only 2 into 5.
I know. Did we commit to 5? I don't know that we committed to the top.
I threw 5 out there. You know,
Oh, okay. All right.
at some point, I was thinking that the fact, cause so I'm, you know, I do this. I'm also a barber, so I hear stories at the barbershop, and a lot of things that they talk about is when someone pulls up brand new truck, brand new camper, and they can't even park it, like back it.
Yes.
They have
Oh,
no.
yeah.
So I would feel like you would may want to go into a big parking lot and just
Yes.
go
Practice.
around.
Yeah, I think that's a fair tip. What I will say though is a lot of campgrounds, RV parks will have pull through sites. So if you're not comfortable doing that yet, you can still go camping. Just try to target one of those campgrounds that has pull through sites. They'll put it on their list of amenities, and ask them for a pull through site, and then that way, like you can kind of get your feet wet into camping and RV life before you have to try to back it in.
Well, we always recommend what we call the shakedown trip. And so we actually ended up doing 2 shakedown trips with this RV because it was so big and so unwieldy that we wanted to make sure we were comfortable. And so we actually went to 2 different campsites that we had been to. One was just a couple of hours away, stayed there for a couple of days, and then came back. And then the other one was about 5.5, 6 hours away. And we went there, stayed for, I think we stayed there for like 2 weeks, and then we came back. And then we kind of sealed, like, you know, I don't want to say sealed, but we kind of like decided on everything that we felt that we needed and learned from those 2 trips. And then that was when we truly hit the road and basically said bye to home at that point.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that was a good point too, which is probably point number 3 is you're gonna need to like lock shit down inside the camp.
Yes.
And you may or may not know exactly what all you need to lock down and how you need to lock it down until you do a shakedown trip. And so, you know, traveling 2 hours down the road is a lot different of a potential mess that you could walk into than traveling 7 or 8 hours down the road. So I think a shakedown trip in, you know, close by campground is probably a really good idea for the first outing with your camper.
Like some people go only like 30 minutes down the road, and that's perfect. That's all you really need. I will say, we have a video coming out called about what we call the peanut incident, and that was on our second shakedown trip.
The great peanut incident.
We've talked about it on our channel before, but we were in a campground that got hit by a tornado, and our trailer got damaged. And we did after we got the trailer repaired and got it back, we did a shakedown trip, and lo and behold, the mounting for our refrigerator broke. And so we wouldn't, if we had done anything more than just a shakedown trip, we might not have known, and we would have ended up with a spoiled fridge rather than, hey, we got it back, we got it set up, and we spent the next couple of weeks basically rebuilding a mounting structure for it that would hold up. But yeah, I mean, those are the benefits. Those are the things that can happen, and you just won't know unless you do it.
Yeah.
So, well, so let me ask you this: like, what? I'm trying to think of a way to put this. So, there's all different budgets, you know, people are in. So, let's say someone who is young and is wanting to get a camper for their family. They can't just go buy a new one and finance like something like that. Like, what is like the top, you know, some of your tips of figuring out like what brands, you know, how the longevity, if any, and what to look for if they're going to go and get something that's more on the affordable side?
Yeah. So there's a huge used market for RVs. There's tons of people that will buy them new. They think that they want to do RV life. They take it out once or twice and they realize it's more work than they want to do, or it's just not within their schedule to do, or whatever. And then they'll put it up for sale. Those are awesome because just like a regular vehicle, RVs depreciate significantly. And so you can get a next to new kind of RV for like way, way less than you would ever imagine in terms of like sticker price. There's a website that is really common, that a lot of people use. A lot of dealerships use them as well. So it's kind of a good one-stop shop. It's called rvtrader.com. We're not affiliated with them or anything like that. It's just a good resource. And you can look up the different types of RVs. You can, if you have a select like floor plan that you want, or if you're looking for a specific brand or a specific model number, you can look it up by that as well. And then you can kind of decide, how far you're willing to travel to, actually go purchase one. But that's a really great place to look for both new and used RVs.
And being willing to travel is actually really, really useful. Like the farther you're willing to go pick up the RV, the better off. Like you're gonna have so many more options because every market's different. If you're buying in a major metropolitan area like Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, that's the price is going to be a lot higher than if you're buying it from Waco's not a good example. Midland, Texas, middle of nowhere, type thing. Well, actually, Midland's might be costly because there's oil workers out there, and so they like to buy campers. So that might bring the price up. So every area is different.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah, but in terms of like a good camper, we actually get asked this a lot. People will ask us, what's the best camper? What camper should I get? And that we really can't answer for you, because you kind of just have to go. And I would say, do not buy sight unseen. Go to a dealership. Better yet, go to an RV show, because that's a low pressure situation in terms of sales. If you go to a dealership, you're going to have somebody behind you walking with you through the camper. At an RV show, all of the RVs are open. There's tons of them there. All different types of RVs as well. So from your towable ones to your motorized ones and everything in between. And you can go. And what I would say is go sit on the couch, pretend like you're going to watch TV, because it might be raining. It might be bad weather. You might just want to have a movie night one night. Like you're not always going to want to be outdoors. Go open up the fridge and like pretend like you're cooking a meal in the kitchen and make sure that actually like functions for you and works for you. And like let your family kind of settle in and like spend some time opening up all the drawers and things like that, because it needs to be something that is functional for you and functional for your family, no matter how much you're going to be in, whether you're only planning on doing a weekend warrior type thing or whether you're planning on going full time. And you may want to do 2 different campers for those scenarios, but it still needs to be comfortable to be in. And so we always just recommend go check them out for yourself. Go talk to some people in the industry. There's a couple boutique manufacturers that are doing a really, really good job right now. That always, like, the quality of campers and the quality of the brands tends to kind of go up and down from year to year.
Yeah.
So I would say, rather than telling you any specific brands, I would say when you're ready to go get your camper, start talking to people.
Do the research and that the other thing is like just like look online. Like it's not hard if you look online to see that there's one particular brand of RV manufacturers right now who's having a lawsuit against them because of issues in their build quality. And so that's like that was a brand that people were recommending not like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And so it can happen that quickly that one brand, we can tell you right now, X brand, well, I'll put one out there. Alliance is doing a really good job.
It's doing a great job.
But they could absolutely next year screw the pooch and then it's gone.
Yeah. And that's the other thing to keep in mind with RVs. They are not built like homes at all.
No.
They're and people talk about like the build quality of the RV of an RV now is not the same as it was with older RVs. And that's true as well. But if you go into it with kind of your eyes wide open, knowing that you're able to kind of absorb some of the mishaps and repairs and maintenance requirements a little bit easier. But just remember, I mean, it's aluminum, particle board,
fiberglass.
Yeah, they make them light as possible.
Going down the highway and like in an earthquake, for however long your travel is, like stuff's gonna break every time. It's usually little stuff. It's usually stuff that like we can fix ourselves. But almost every time we have a travel day, a piece of trim comes off or, some sort of mount comes loose or something like that. So you just have to be prepared for that.
So everybody's got their preference. I know you probably can't tell because I have a black shirt on, but I'm actually fat. So I don't really like the very hot weather very much. If I go camping, it's most of the time cold. But but for you two, what's your favorite destinations as you kind of map out where you go through the year, like what areas do you stay in most time?
We like the beach.
Yeah. We like around 78 to 82 degrees is kind of our sweet spot.
Yeah.
We actually, so our RV and a lot of RVs our size come with 2 AC units. Unless you have a toy hauler, in which case you might have
Not
3.
free.
But we have 2 AC units, and it's not enough. We're actually in kind of the southeast United States right now, and we bought, starting this summer, we bought a third standing AC unit that literally just supplements, because these 2 AC units, when it's 90 plus degrees outside, it can't keep up.
Yeah. But yeah, no, we really like to stick to warmer climates. We have certainly camped in warm or in cold weather as well.
-2 degrees.
Yeah, that was not on purpose, but it happens sometimes. But yeah, we like to stick to warmer climates. So we love Florida in the winter. We come here with all the retirees and we have a blast. It's so much fun. And then during the summer, we like to travel a lot more, and really spring and fall, we like to travel a lot more, and we like to go up into some of the northern places. But we only like to go up there when it's bikini weather, because that's a lot of fun.
I got you. Well, what's the furthest north have you got to? Like
Vancouver, British Columbia.
Actually, we went about 45 minutes north of Vancouver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, what's funny is I actually don't know, because I'd actually have to look at it on a map and look at the latitude lines. We might
we were in Maine.
When we were in Maine, we might have actually been farther north.
I think we were a little further north.
Yeah.
Because
that would be true. Yeah, it does keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maine goes farther north than even Vancouver, British Columbia would. So yeah, I think we might have been, Maine would have been the farthest north so far. We actually wanted, unfortunately, we couldn't do it because I was an idiot and hurt my back. But we actually wanted to go all the way up to Prince Edward Island, Canada, and take the RV and on the ferry across the water to go over there. So that was actually one of our goals while we were in Maine. So we will be back to Maine without my injured back.
Yeah. But only during the summer.
But only during the summer.
I got you. Midsummer, Maine.
Yeah.
So this is going to be an off-fall question. It's something that wasn't in like what we talked about. I'm just going to throw it out there. So in your travels, since you're like, I just thought of this, like since you're outside all the time, or not all the time, most of the time.
Most of the time, yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen a Bigfoot or a UFO?
So we did see a Bigfoot. In Olympic National Park in Washington State, we saw a Bigfoot. Now, it was man-made.
Yeah.
On the side of the road. So we haven't seen a real Bigfoot.
Okay.
UFO.
Trying to think, have we seen any like real like crazy lights? I mean, we were in so last year we were in Washington D.C. We were actually camped out in like Maryland, a little ways outside of Washington D.C. So there were a lot of planes that would go over going to Andrews Air Force Base. Then a few years ago, we were north of Salt Lake City in Utah, and we were right near an Air Force base there. And there's a lot of, they do a ton of training exercises over there. So
badass.
It was so cool, but none of them were at night, and I always knew what they were. So unfortunately, I don't think we've seen a UFO yet.
I just thought I'd throw that out there.
We have seen, when we were camping in Florida during the winter, we have seen some of the rockets flying.
Oh yeah.
That are like Starlink rockets or SpaceX rockets, and those are actually really cool to see.
Oh yeah.
They shoot them off like during the day, and you can hardly see them, but at night is really, really cool.
Yeah. We saw one of the ones where they like re-landed the booster. We saw it launch off, and then we got to like watch it refire as it's coming down. Now we were nowhere near, like, obviously if you're there on site, you can see it a little bit easier, but we weren't in the Space Coast, and so we were actually looking from a distance. But it's so cool because you would see that engine fire back up, and you're like, oh, that thing's going down to land, and so that was pretty cool.
So I live in the middle of North Carolina, like pretty much the center. And I got some pictures on my phone of a SpaceX launch that North Carolina even could see, because apparently that one was actually making its way across the United States to, go into orbit. So I got to see that too, that, took off from California. So California, Texas. I can't remember which one they said where it said that one launched. Is it California? He launches all of them from, or
No, he launches them from Texas and the Space Coast of Florida.
Yeah, like
Okay.
Cape Canaveral.
Cape Canaveral. Yeah.
yeah. So that one would
Um,
be like it was definitely in the direction of like Texas. In yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
but yeah, I mean
That's cool.
that's cool. Now for your internet, I mean doing a pitch for nothing, but I mean, do y'all have like what? I mean, you go to a campground, do they just have the internet there for
No.
you, and you just
No.
or you-
No,
Dude,
it's terrible.
Never trust a
time.
never trust a campground's internet. I actually did some work for a campground because I have a little bit of experience because I used to do live production where basically we would set up like a wireless network or things like that we needed on site. And so there was actually a campground that I helped them set up their wireless network, and that one I would actually say is fairly reliable. But pretty much all the rest, I don't trust in any way, shape, or form. So we actually carry. I say we carry our own internet because we have a T-Mobile home gateway, which it's technically against terms of service to use mobilely like we do, but whatever. We have the Verizon home gateway, which is also technically against terms of service, but whatever.
We just cut that part out.
Yeah,
we'll have to
yeah,
slice
yeah.
that.
I didn't actually say that. And then we also have Starlink, and right now we don't even have Starlink set up. We've actually been relying on just Verizon and T-Mobile, and it's been fine. Like upload speeds on those are not as good. So when we're like uploading videos to social media,
Takes a while.
but we didn't want to set up the satellite, and so we just haven't. We're about to leave actually, and so we didn't want to have it set up, and so for now we're fine with it. And probably the next place we go to, we might set up the satellite.
Yeah.
Okay.
The nice thing about Starlink is even though it is very expensive, it's much more expensive than either one of the other two. But we have the plan where you can pause it for a month. So if we get somewhere and we're staying long enough, and our internet is fine off of just Verizon or T-Mobile, then we'll just pause the plan, and then we don't get charged that month.
So I think they actually are just changing that.
Yes.
It came.
I hadn't told her yet. Yeah, they're now going to charge you. I think it's like $5 or $10 a month when you're paused.
Yeah, they yeah. So I seen that it popped up in one of my feeds.
We'll get charged $5 or $10 a month.
It's still cheaper. It's still cheaper than the 150. But yeah, I saw that earlier this week too. I hadn't told her that.
Yeah, but
As she was saying, and I was like, I want to grab.
Take that back.
Yeah, I was just saying that, and I was like, man, I'm just going to tell her how bad it is. But
Well,
yeah.
okay, but here's the thing. What I would say is the reason why we have 3 different internet connections is because our job is making content creation, and so we actually really rely
Making content creation.
we do content creation. We do content creation. We make videos for your
Yes.
enjoyment and pleasure, and whether
Yes.
you're laughing at us or with us, we did our job. But we rely on not only some pretty fast download speeds, but also really fast upload speeds. So what I would say is, if you're wanting to go RV and you're wanting to like stay connected in some way, shape, or form,
Your phone's hotspot might be
your
enough.
phone, yeah, you're not going to have to get like 3 different internet sources like what we have, unless you are going to need that much because of like your job or like whatever you're doing that needs that. And quite frankly, sometimes it's just really nice to get away, go somewhere where there's no cell reception, no internet reception at all, and just kind of disconnect from everything. So that's also totally plausible.
Yeah,
It really just depends on how you want to camp.
It's one of the 2 reasons we don't actually stay at national parks very often is because national parks are not really designed for fifth wheels as big as ours. So ours is a little over 40 feet, and most national parks are not really designed for that. And the other reason is most national parks don't have good cell service. Now, with Starlink, that kind of that changes the game a little bit, where we could get away with it a little bit more often. But we're uploading 1 to 2 videos a day. We need a little bit of internet at least.
Yeah.
Right. I know. So like for me, it's all about hunting and fishing. If I go somewhere, most time it's a federal game land, or it's federal land that's a game land or a state, and there's no towers because I can't put nothing there. And so we were looking at doing Starlink, but I haven't, bought it. Like the hunting season is just coming up, and that was something that I actually was on their website, and I'm looking at it, and I was like, man, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the trigger on this. And because Google and your phone watches and listens to everything that you say and think, like the next day, like in my news feed, you know, Starlink is now charging. You cannot pause. I'm
Yeah.
sitting there like, holy smoke! I don't know if I'm buying this now or not. You know.
Yeah.
It depends on your needs. I will say if you're going hunting in the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna be in South Carolina in late October. So if you have any spare venison, let me know because I could always use some more venison.
Hey, I honestly, like me and my wife, we both hunt, and we're trying to, well, anyway, that's I was getting ready to overshare. I've kind of got talking more, me and you talking, not so much the podcast. So anyway, yeah,
I'm good at doing that to people.
yeah. So anyway, but we have some extra venison meat. We was pretty successful last year, so absolutely. If you come up, I mean, we'll give you, 20 pounds or so or something, and let you.
Nice. I'll reach out. I'll reach out to you when I'm in South Carolina. She's actually going on a girls' trip, so I'm gonna be by myself anyway. So I might as well go.
Yeah, come
Yeah.
up and we'll do some country boy stuff and maybe blow
There
something
you
up.
go.
I mean,
Sounds fun to me.
All right. But so like for people who want to follow you and that kind of stuff, where all can they find you at?
Oh, we're everywhere. So just search for Wandering RV Babe. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, X, YouTube. I think that's it. I think I covered them all.
There's 6 of them, really? Wow.
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah.
So do y'all post consistently to all of those, or do
Yes.
you?
Yeah, we do. And it's really the same content. So
Yeah.
if you follow us on one platform, you don't need to feel obligated to follow us on yet another
Yeah. So
platform.
whichever
It
one they
helps.
like the best. Yeah.
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 I mean,
but just pick the one that you like the best and follow us on there.
yeah.
All right.
Facebook pays us the best, so I mean, there's that.
Yeah.
At
I
the
mean, yeah.
moment, at least.
There is that. I mean, so like as an influencer, that's where the status you have risen to now, that you are the influ. I mean, this is
We laugh at that term because we don't like
We don't influence people.
so this is, I'll be honest with you, this is what happened. Like, so I'm over here in the hunting fishing section of social media, right? I go in and Lisa's like, it'd be nice to have a camper. I got like a Ford Excursion that we're going to like make into an overland, but we got kids. So we're like, so I'm started looking at campers, right? On Facebook Marketplace. Then all of a sudden, there's this girl with short hair that dominates my Facebook feed. And I'm sitting here like, wait, I just like looked for a camper. Where did she come from? And it's like every day there's like, I don't know. I was like, man. And then that's when I'm like, no, it should be fun to have on a podcast. So boom, you got an email.
You're trying to make it sound like a bad thing. I mean,
I'm not. I'm sitting here and I'm like, no, I mean, that's what I'm saying. You have risen to influencer to where some boy who really values his house, indoor plumbing. I mean, you even like dominated my Facebook wall. So, I mean, obviously y'all are top tier, so you're doing a good job.
Well, thanks.
So I'm going to put all of your links with this video and podcast. If you're listening, Spotify, you can go over to Outdoor Crusades Facebook page. We're going to have this there, plus the little short videos, and I'll make sure to include them in the links and that kind of stuff. Make sure you go follow them. She does a great job. He has said more in this podcast than all of the videos. And I'm talking, when I say all videos, it's thousands of videos. He said more in this podcast than he has said in all those videos.
I'm actually very talkative. I don't know.
He is very talkative.
I'm just sitting there and I'm like, he's over there, he's on the computer and he's doing stuff and the bank accounts just keep going up. Meanwhile, she's over here with the, her phone. Okay, so today, is that what's happening? Is that the deal?
Yeah, well, it's funny. So a lot of the videos just like kind of come together. Like I'll have an idea and I'm like, oh yeah, like I'll go film this right now. That's how my brain works.
I got you.
So if he's available, then sometimes I like rope him in. And so he'll make a cameo appearance in the videos, but sometimes he's busy or he's off doing something else. And so, it's just me and, the brand is more centered on me and the sponsorships are more centered on me. So
And sometimes I'm just
lean into it.
sometimes I'm just hot and I'm not wearing a shirt and I don't want to put one on just to go film a video.
Yeah.
I got you. I got you. I understand that. Yeah.
I mean, he actually dressed up for you, Jay.
Yeah, I did.
So like,
You see, we got the camo going for you,
Yeah.
man.
You know what? It is spot on. It is awesome. Y'all did a good. Yeah, y'all are fitting. We took our brands and meshed them together. It worked
there
out
we
great.
go.
Yes.
There we go.
Well, I appreciate y'all being on, and man, we probably should do it again, and most definitely on the deer meat, man. You got my cell phone number. Just shoot me a text, and we'll take care of you. Man, if you come up to North Carolina for anything, just holler at us, and
Well,
at least we'll go get
Well, thanks for having
something
us
to eat.
on.
yeah, we really appreciate it.
Yeah, this was a blast. So thank you for the invite.
All right. So again, make sure you go to outdoorcrusade.com. You can find us on Spotify or wherever you like to listen to your podcast. We're also going to be on YouTube, Facebook, and all the ones that they mentioned. There's a bunch of them. So until next time, I hope everyone has a blessed day, and thanks guys for coming on board with us.
Bye.